Welcome. Welcome to the law, your money, and you. I'm Roberta Saphire. I'm an attorney in Sharon, Massachusetts.
Hi, I'm Camille Barron. I'm a financial coordinator and a healthcare advisor, also in Sharon, Massachusetts. And Roberta, in the past when we've done interviews with people who have been very successful, for the most part in some sort of business or some other adventure or anything else, any type of pursuit, one of the things that they always emphasize is innovation. And today we have a guest who is the epitome of innovation.
Yes.
His profession, he has now transformed into something totally separate, and it's probably going to be a real winner.
Well, not quite separate, but I'm going to let him tell you. We are so proud and happy to have with us Tully Banta-Cain.
Thanks for having me. Thanks so much. Thank you for that intro, too.
We always start with, you like that intro, huh? We
like
always
that.
start with, tell us a little bit about yourself, but you're going to have to probably end up telling us a lot about yourself. But start right now. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Take my glasses off.
Okay.
So a little bit about myself. Born and raised in California, in the Bay Area, and never thought in a million years I'd be on the East Coast. But through my college years at Cal Berkeley, I was able to do some damage on the football field and make some big plays, and that ended up putting me into the NFL draft, and the NFL draft caught me in the 7th round with the New England Patriots back in 2003, and I was able to win a Super Bowl my rookie year, and then that's 20 years ago, 2003, 2023, and then my following year, and then I went on to play 8 years in the NFL and played for the 49ers, but yeah, after that I retired and started doing some other entrepreneurial things. I got into acting, I got into a couple of businesses that I tried to own, clothing lines.
Well, tell us about the acting.
So the act.
'Cause that's one of the minor things here.
Yeah, that was something. A good buddy of mine who was doing some film. He was in a movie called The Town, which is it's a local film.
I remember the film.
With Ben Affleck and
Was Matt Damon in that too?
Matt Damon, and he said, "Tully, we're working on this other movie that's kind of Boston mob kind of stuff, and maybe you'd be interested." And so I jumped into that, and it's called Buy the Gun. So I have a small role, but I'm in there.
That's great.
Yay!
That's great. And you also were a contestant on America's Got Talent.
Yes, that's
You had a group of
The whole group.
You were the choir.
Yes, the
choir,
Players'
Tell
Choir.
us about that.
yeah. So
I did watch that last night.
We did a little homework.
Oh, there you go.
It was good. I liked your presentation.
You liked it?
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe more to come. You never know. That actually was a year ago. I was at the Super Bowl in Los Angeles, and I ran into some old buddies of mine who I played with and played against. Typically at the Super Bowl, a lot of players go and reunite with old friends. And a teammate asked me, "Hey, Tully, I heard you sing and do a little music." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Take my number." I took his number, and he texted me 2 weeks later, and he said, "Hey, you want to be on America's Got Talent?"
Of course.
Say less.
How did that happen? I know they went on, a whole group of you, and then you went on. You didn't get eliminated right away.
No, we had the audition, the official audition, in front of Simon, Sophia, and Heidi Klum, and it was really just if you impress the judges, you can go on to the next round, and we were able to impress all 3 of them, including Terry Crews, the host, who was also a former NFL player, and we went on to the next round. So
He's great, Terry.
he's
Crews.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, you are a man of many talents.
But you know something, speaking that back into the music there, I checked, you were a contestant, did you go in Cambridge, Mass, and there?
I've done some performances, yeah, in and around New England, especially during my playing days. I was dabbling into music in the local hip hop scene. So I've done some shows in Cambridge. I've done some shows in New Hampshire.
Is that the House of Blues?
The House of, oh, well, yeah, we did the House of
Yeah.
Blues
Because it
in
looked familiar. I looked at it, it looked familiar.
the Players Choir, or just
No,
just
the
myself?
House of Blues. It was just you.
Oh, yeah, I did a show at the Middle East, which is in Cambridge, a well-renowned like hip-hop underground spot to go watch shows. So yeah, I've been kind of in the music scene. I just put out an album 2 weeks ago called Jethro Tully.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Sounds a little.
Jethro Tull.
See
What is
I
it
did
called
there?
again?
Jethro
What's
Tully.
that, J-E-F?
Jeffro Tully, Tully.
And tell us about that.
That's actually a project I had been sitting on for a while. The reason why it's called Jethro Tully is because it's me and my friend Jethro, who is a music producer, and he makes a lot of electronic EDM type of music. And so it's a combination of me rapping and singing and him making like these cool electronic beats.
That's
So,
fantastic. Do you know how many people out there have such dreams and they can't get it going?
yeah, it happens. I just, I'm one of those, I've always been a big dreamer, and I throw a lot of things at the wall. Not all of them stick, but I
that's
believe in
special.
just do as much as you can while you're here.
You know, there's a thing I throw out to young people all the time. If by Rudyard Kipling, if you can dream, yet not make dream your master. In other words, dream and go after it, but don't let it all consume you so that you never do anything else. But that's wonderful. I didn't know about this, so you got the album too.
Yeah, I want to. Is that available online?
It's available on all platforms.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But my favorite topic, and what I've been
Yes.
very anxious to
We're
hear
getting
from you
to
about,
it.
this is where your true innovative spirit comes in, is beach football. Tell us all about that, please.
Sure. So during my playing days, I was always fascinated by the organization of football, the league, college, NFL, the Patriots, all the allure, all the things that are set up for the players, all the money that people make, all the advertising, the marketing, the fans. The whole production is like an entertainment spectacle event. And I always felt as a player I was a very small piece of that production. And so I always wondered what would happen if players, say like the Jets, were just the players, were to go to Sharon High School and just play a game without the coaches, without the owners, just the players. And would people still come and watch that game? And I've asked people all the time, and all of them say, yeah, I would watch that. I would go watch Tom Brady play at Sharon High School. And so that idea kind of stuck with me. And when I was living in Manhattan Beach, I realized there's a lot of activities on the beach, like volleyball, surfing, jogging, but not much football. You see people throw a football around. And so the idea kind of hit me like, what if there was a football league on the beach? And so I did a local casting where I put the word out for local football players to come and play in a football game on the beach and try out for the teams. And so about 50 guys showed up. I paid them about $50 each. They did a full combine workout, and then we did a draft, and we picked the best guys. And we had them playing a game. We recorded the whole thing, and it was a hit. People were like coming from all over to watch, and the guys were pumped. No one got hurt, and they were like, "When's the next one?"
Yes, so the question is, on the beach, where do they sit?
The spectators.
The spectators, and and how is that arranged?
So,
I'm sure you thought of that too.
Another inspiration that the beach football came from was the AVP, which is the American Volleyball Professional League. So they do professional beach volleyball in a tour that goes to different cities, and they assemble stadiums on the beach.
Oh, really?
So there's bleachers that they bring out there, and there's like little sponsor villages and like fun and games and activities and bar and everything. It's like going to a Patriots game, but on the beach. And so when I saw that, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And these seats were full. I mean, people were coming out to watch. And it was just awesome. I mean, people are out in their bathing suits, and it's just beautiful sunny day. You got the beach. And I was just like, it's volleyball, though. And football, to me, is a bigger sport than volleyball. No offense to volleyball players out there, but I thought football would have a bigger impact if seen in that light. And so I was able to assemble a bunch of players that I knew from over the years, and they all loved the idea. They all jumped on it. And so now I have players, coaches, commentators, you name it.
Unbelievable.
Well, how do they set up like changing rooms and bleachers? I mean, how do they set all that up? Do you have to bring it in? How do you find
Well,
the
so
space?
Well, what we've done is our first deal we're working on now is in the Bahamas at an already built stadium. So they have these stadiums that are built for soccer, sand soccer, all over the world. And so they have locker rooms, they have showers, they have press boxes, the whole thing.
And they call it football in other countries.
They do call it football. We only call it soccer, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Gee, she knows more than I do. But this Beach Classic, February 20th, 2024, is that going to be in the Bahamas?
Yeah, that's what we're looking at right
Oh.
now.
I guess we'll have to take a trip
Yeah.
Yeah.
to be a spectator.
Yeah, JetBlue just opened up nonstop flights.
Did they?
I wonder if this had anything to do with it. They'll give them more flights to cancel on people.
Right?
Yeah. You see, that's it. You bring in these stadiums. You also to as part of this, maybe the approach to it. Didn't you do something with Canadian?
Yes.
Canada. Tell us about that.
So
Yeah.
after I retired, after the acting, and a few years after that, a college teammate of mine came to me with an idea to start a high school in Canada because the recruiting process in Canada is a lot different than in the United States. Canadians play different rules of football, and so the kids don't really get recruited the same just for that reason alone. And we figured if we start a high school in Canada that played American schools, then the Canadian kids, football players, could at least get some more exposure.
So this was an actual high school or a high school for football?
It was a preparatory high school, so it was an all-boys school just for football. It's expanded since. It was sold in 2018. But it was an all-boys school, about 30 kids, and they just traveled and played American schools. One of the kids from our high school is in the NFL now. He plays for the Dallas Cowboys. Neville Gallimore is his name. But he's a Canadian kid, and he climbed his way all the way through from the college. He went to our high school, then he went to Oklahoma, and then he ended up on the Cowboys.
Isn't that fantastic? That's
Yes, it is.
fantastic. So now, before you play in the Bahamas there, what type of preparatory work is practice? How is it all this practicing? You're just going to go there and play, or you're going to have some practice ahead of it?
Oh yeah, there's going to be definitely practice. A lot of things when starting a league, there's still a lot of moving things that are having to be put in place. But we plan on the week of the game itself, there'll be opportunities for the players to get together and have meetings, practices, get acclimated to the weather, get acclimated to the stadium, and kind of be prepared and start preparing for the game itself. And right now, we are looking not just at the Bahamas, but everywhere. So there's a place in Hampton Beach right now, New Hampshire, that is interested in having a beach football event. Places in San Diego I've been talking to. So Bahamas is really more of the starting point, but the end point is, who knows, maybe the Olympics.
I think that probably after you've been in this for about a year, you're going to see beaches all over the country wanting to do this. I mean, teams all over the country, people all over the country are going to want to do this.
Yeah, that's
I
the
think it's
vision.
going to take off like lightning.
Yeah,
How
me
could
too.
it not?
What
Hopefully.
type of uniform are they going to have? The same uniform?
So
type of-
that's an interesting question. So the guys aren't wearing pads in our league, very similar to rugby, and for a few different reasons. But one of the big ones is when you wear pads, helmets, and shoulder pads, those are typically used as weapons for some players, where you can use your head a lot more
They're not
violently.
going to wear helmets either?
No helmets. You can wear a soft shell helmet,
Yeah.
but not a hard shell helmet, because that's when you can use it as a weapon,
Yeah.
quite frankly. And so we're adopting the rugby rules so that the players already are incentivized to not lead with their heads because they don't have the protection on. So when you're going to tackle someone, you're already going to have that safety adrenaline barrier where you're not going to just blindly put your head into someone's forehead.
Boy.
And then the sand itself is a lot softer to land on than, say, grass or turf. That's one point. The other point is most NFL players, you don't know what they look like. You know their names maybe, but we're wearing helmets all the time. So unless you're a highly visible player like a Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or someone like that, you don't really
true.
recognize players by their face. Not like we're in the NBA or boxing. You know what those guys look like. So that's another incentive for players to stay relevant, to put their faces out there, to, guys who have retired but maybe they might have made a name but not a face for themselves.
Face of the stuff.
They
You can
could,
take any face.
Exactly.
Well, what I like about this is that is probably going to make them more accessible by the spectators.
Right.
I think the spectators are going to feel like they can approach these guys. And the helmets, I think that's great. I mean, look at the TB, traumatic brain injuries that happen
Oh, yeah.
with football. This is going to promote safety. I mean, it really is
100%.
going to promote
Hopefully,
safety and maybe more awareness of it.
100%. And we're trying to grow the sport, too, of beach football because
Good name, anyway, to start
yeah,
with.
because the kids and parents, they have to buy pads, and there's a lot that goes into football. Just like hockey, you got to buy all the stuff that goes into it. Where in our league, you just need swim trunks and a football, and you can go to the beach and play.
Right.
So it's a lot more accessible for kids, especially in other countries, to just go down to the beach and play.
Oh, that's interesting. Go down to the beach and
We have
play.
females too.
I was just going to ask you that.
Yeah. So there's a league right now called the LFL. It was the Lingerie League for a little while, but it turned into the Legends League, and it's all females that play full tackle football.
Wow.
And they're aggressive.
Really?
Like they are not messing
But what do you
around.
do with the transgenders? I mean, there's a whole
We
thing
can
on
start a
there.
little category for them as well. You know.
Isn't that interesting? I find that interesting, that this one's a transgender and
And whether they should be allowed to play on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big controversy sometimes.
Yeah, we haven't gotten that far down the road in what would happen in those scenarios, but we're open to, pretty much anything. If anyone wants to play, we could probably put people on the equal playing field in terms of height, size, weight, things like that, where gender doesn't matter.
Well, let's see. How many months do we have to bulk up so that we can join one of those leagues? You
We
are-
need cheerleaders too.
Yeah, well, I mean,
maybe
work out, so
years
why not?
ago I would have been a good one. I was a tomboy. I used to win at everything. Today I can't even stand up straight. But you know what I was wondering? The people that you have as coaches and players, they were former NFL players?
Yes.
Are they all former NFL players? What are they doing now?
Yeah, so, one of them is Devin McCourty, who is recently retired from the Patriots, and he said that he didn't want to play for obvious reasons. He just retired, give his body a break.
Is he going to retire and unretired? Unretire and retire like one of
is
the
he
other
gonna-
Patriots players?
I don't know, but he's already jumped into commentating, and he's one of the head commentators on Thursday Night Football in the NFL now. So
he already is?
he's getting his face out there, making a face for himself, and a lot of the other players, it's a similar situation where they're not either they still want to play, they still have the competitive juice, and they're healthy enough, they want to get out there and play and prove something, and other guys are just willing to blow the whistle and coach and point and yell. And
How many teams are set up right now?
so right now the first game exhibition is just 2 teams because we figured we didn't want people to try and follow a whole season of different teams and have to figure out who everyone is. Especially in today's society, the attention span is a lot shorter for people. So if you just give them a game, and you give them a very cool game with just two teams, it's a lot easier to sink your teeth into that as opposed to like, oh, who's on this team, who's the coach, who's the players.
Who sets the rules on this? Do you have an advisory board or a board of directors, or how is that
Yeah,
set?
we have an advisory board and a board of directors. It's about 8 of us right now. That it's been a collection of people over the years that we felt could help the process. But initially, it was just first all in my head. I was coaching for the 49ers. Funny enough, a couple years ago, and I was sitting in the back of the class drawing up the rules and drawing up the vision and the logo because I was like,
How did you think of it? Was there some entrepreneurial in your family, your father? Or
maybe, I don't know. I just, I've always wanted more, and I've always, whenever I was a part of something, I looked beyond just the face value of things and always try to dig a little deeper into how. And I'm not really like a rebel, like not like I'm trying to buck the system or anything. It's just, I look at a lot of players that are retired that are either broke or they're strung out or their lives took a weird turn. Either they committed suicide. There's all kinds of mental health things, and the NFL, I don't want to say doesn't give back to the players, but it's just not enough to sustain. And I think if there was a league for the players, by the players, it could give players another alternative to either get into coaching, commentating, maybe playing, or just being a part of it as an ambassador to some degree. I think there's a lot of players that are looking for that now that they're retired. So this could be that.
That's interesting. I like that concept that you just described. Even though you're retired, you're always looking for more. You have aspirations because you know you can contribute more.
Well, one of the things that interested me about Tully was he wants to give back. He's been successful, and how can he share this with others? And I thought that was good. That's important. I like to see people give back. And
That's because you have a good heart.
You are sweet too.
You have a really nice demeanor and a good heart.
Thank you.
Yeah, but we have some more time. Let's talk about some more stuff here. What when you sang, did you just like rap, or did you like what kind of music did you like?
Ooh, that's a good question. You know, my dad was a singer, and
See, we got the
he was
parents
like
in
a
here. Just tell
soul,
'em
like
I
a
did it.
soul, like singer, James Brown-esque type of guy, and so a lot of that came from him. But I've always been the type to play my role, and like I know my talents and I know my weaknesses, and so if there's a guy who can sing really well, and I'm part of the project, I'll be the rapper, let him be the singer.
Yeah.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
Yes, I do.
how many?
I have 3 sisters and 2 brothers.
6 kids.
Oh, 6. So
Yeah.
3 and 3.
So where are you?
I'm in the middle.
You're
I'm
in
in
the
the middle.
middle?
We're all spread around. Different, like me and my brother have different mothers. Me and my sisters have different dads. So we're like, it's a culmination of us spread throughout.
And do they all live nearby?
All over. So I have a brother in Canada. I have a sister in California. 2 sisters.
So you're not a real middle child.
I'm like, what would you
'Cause
call
have
that?
None of those.
The limbo child.
No, you're a sweet child.
There you go.
Anyway, I think you're one of the sweetest people that I have met.
Thank you.
And what's nice about you is like see, I like when people call me. I like to return the calls. I like to do it right away, and he does too. You do too. That's why we've gotten along so well. I think it's 14, 15 years. But
Right.
anyway, we gotta start to think about wrapping up, which I don't want to.
We would go on. We keep it going.
Well, we're going to keep in touch with you. We're going to follow you. And I want you to know that when the time comes that you're famous all over the country and world, you can look back to us that we helped make you famous. You were on The Law, Your Money, and You.
That's right. That's where it all began.
Right.
Well, I think he began before us.
I do
but-
too.
But this is really wonderful.
We thank you so much. We've been
Yeah,
looking forward to
thank you.
this for ever since
It kept,
Roberta told me
we
about it.
kept getting postponed, whether the
Yeah.
weather here and the weather there and this and And this we have to thank the Sharon Cable TV network. They moved into the new studio at the new Sharon High, and this was in the way, and that was in the way, and the workers, but it all came together, and everybody worked together, and
Right.
and we got it. But
And when
thank you.
when it's been edited, it plays on the cable TV for
It
2
goes
dozen
on
cable
YouTube.
cable TV channels throughout Boston area, but it also goes on YouTube, so that you can use this. You can have it edited, maybe just part of the interview
Yeah.
if you want.
Oh,
and
another
use
thing
this.
is, we should tell him, if you, for our views, if anybody, well, they know if anybody's interested, they can get a hold of us, but what would do you have a website set up?
Yeah, so if
Tell us the
you
website.
if you go to beachfootballleague.com, you can find information about the league. You can sign up. You can even invest. You can potentially try out if you want to play. Yeah, get in there. Come on, Roberta. You could be a streaker at the very least. You just run across the field. But yeah, beachfootballleague.com is where you can find all the info. And if you just Google Beach Football League, we're the only ones in the space. So
That's
Oh, I
great.
bet.
that's
Okay.
a
Well, you
cool
will
thing
be
too.
famous, and we're going to be following you all the way.
Yes, and
Thank
thank
you.
you
Thank you so much for
again.
being on today. It was worth waiting for,
Yes.
even though we had a
for
couple
us.
of delays here and there.
Yeah.
And we wish you all the best. We're going to be
Yeah.
looking forward to what you're creating.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
And to our viewers, if you're interested, follow beachfootballleague.com, because this is going to be quite a new phenomenon.
Mm.
We thank you for watching, and please, if you have any other thoughts, questions, ideas, please be sure to get in touch with us, because remember, this is your show. The law, your money, and you.
You.